Hello, good afternoon. This is Windy News coming to you live from the News Hub here at the University of Education, Winneba. Coming up in the next minute. Minority Leader Afenyo Markin bus government nomination process. Lands Minister pledges monthly update on Galamsey fight. WAEC faces pressure to release withheld examination result. And in business, President Mahama appoints Kojochum Buafo as acting CEO of Financial Intelligence Center. On the foreign front, South Africa President engages Elon Musk to ease U.S.-South Africa land law tensions. We have details of all these stories and many more coming up in the bulletin. My name is Nana Ama Nyamike. By now the news in detail. The University of Education Winneba Counseling Center, in collaboration with the Division of Human Resources, has begun an orientation program for all academic counselors appointed for the 2024-2025 academic year at the North Assembly Hall. The purpose of the orientation is to equip academic counselors with the necessary skills and discharging their duties. Staying on this particular story, I have my colleague Aya Letitia online via Zoom to tell us more on this story. Hello, good afternoon, Aya, if you can hear me. Hello? Hello, Letitia, can you hear me, please?
And I can hear you.
Okay, so can you tell us more on what is happening at the North Assembly Hall?
Okay, so currently I'm at the North Assembly Hall. You can see the environment is very conducive, and then you can see the lecturers are busy trooping in for the academic counseling, this year academic counseling. So I'm here with Mr. Dafa to brief us on what is happening.
Okay.
So, you're welcome to Radio Windy Bay as we stream on. This morning, with the Division of Human Resources, in collaboration with the Counseling Center, we're organizing orientation for our academic counselors, which is based on the objective assisting them to understand the basic rudiments of counseling, ethical and legal issues that are associated within academic counseling, so that they would also understand how best to assist our students as they are on campus and even when they are off campus to become the best UW would make them to be. And so some are academic issues, some are social, and others, career selection opportunities, and how to even keep themselves well, healthy when they are in school. So this is a workshop that has a broader objective. When the trainer is trained, then he or she is going out there to assisting students of UW become better products of our institution. So that is the best objective that I can put out there as one of the reasons for organizing this particular workshop this morning. For all academic counselors, we have professors, we have HODs, we have deans, who are all here present assisting the processes of academic counseling. Thank you.
I am Letitia Adams reporting for Windy News, North Assembly. Thank you.
Okay, so Letitia, thank you right there. That was my colleague Letitia giving us more on whatever is happening at the Winneba campus here at the North Assembly Hall. Now moving on to our second story. Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo Markin has affirmed his support for the government's ongoing nomination process, emphasizing the unprecedented level of cooperation extended by the minority since the president began appointing officials to key positions. According to Mr. Afenyo-Markin, this marks the first time in Ghana's democratic history that the minority has played a pivotal role in fast-tracking the confirmation of government nominees. He noted that the collaboration approach has allowed the vetting process to proceed at an unprecedented pace. Despite the smooth confirmations, the vetting session was not without controversy. Heated exchanges in disruptions prompted the Speaker of Parliament to establish a special committee to investigate the matter. However, following a bipartisan appeal, the Speaker lifted the suspension on proceedings on Tuesday, February 4, allowing the process to resume.
From day one that Mr. President started ferrying his nominees to this House, we have given this government our utmost cooperation. Mr. Speaker, record will have it that this is the first time in the history of our democracy that the minority has given the government such a cooperation to the extent that nominees are getting their confirmation in record time. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, I am on record to have made an application to this House under Order 3. This has never happened by any minority leader in the history of our democracy. We believe in constructive criticism. We are not in any way in to disrupt government business, frustrate them, or undermine them. Both parties have been in government before and have been in opposition before. We know that it is not through disruption that would win us power come 2028.
Energy Minister John Abdullah Jinapor has raised concerns over the transparency of the Gold for Oil program, describing it as deeply flawed and lacking the necessary clarity for effective implementation. In an interview monitored by Windy News, Jinapor stated that the current system is riddled with inconsistencies and will be replaced with a more transparent alternative. His remark come amid growing scrutiny of the initiative, which was introduced as a strategy to leverage Ghana's gold reserves in exchange for petroleum products. The Gold for Oil program, initially aimed at stabilizing fuel prices and reducing pressure on foreign exchange reserves, has faced criticism over its operational capacity. Mr. Jinapor's statement signals a potential shift in policy as the government moves to address concerns over accountability and efficiency in the country's oil trade.
Just as you are confirming, there's a high level of opacity, and the clarity is not there, and the Auditor General has flagged this. And so it's not just what we are saying. The reality is that we are reforming all this because of the high level of opacity. If it was that clear, if it was that transparent, and you can see everything easily, then you wouldn't even need the reforms we are pursuing. We are pursuing the reforms because of the opacity and the lack of clarity and how difficult it is to get information, even in respect of offshore and all these companies that are dealt with. The criteria for even selecting the companies is not clear-cut. So clearly, there's a problem, and that is why we want to reform that sector. No, we replace it with a better program. The current Gold for Oil program we've inherited, we will discontinue it. Take it from me. You need some time to put a workable system in place. If you want to set up a gold board, you have to go to Parliament. It has to have some legal backing. In the interim, we are trying to shape the current system and ensure that we reduce the losses and make it a bit more transparent. But ultimately, we want to replace this whole Gold for Oil program and put in place a much more effective system.
Moving on to our next story, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, has announced that his ministry will provide monthly updates on efforts to combat illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey. Speaking at a press briefing, the minister underscored the importance of transparency in the fight against Galamsey and called on the media to play a proactive role. He urged journalists to highlight positive actions while also exposing individuals responsible for the destruction of water bodies and forests. In addition, Mr. Boa revealed plans to collaborate closely with traditional leaders, recognizing their crucial role in tackling the menace at the community level. Meanwhile, the Environmental Protection Authority has already intensified its efforts to clamp down on illegal mining activities, which signals a renewed commitment to protecting the country's natural resources. The head of public sector governance at the Commonwealth Secretariat, Professor Roger Opon-Kranton, has praised Ghana's parliamentary leadership for exhibiting maturity in resolving recent legislative challenges. His commendation follows a joint appeal from both the majority and minority caucus, which led Speaker of Parliament Alban Babin to revoke the suspension of 4 members of Parliament. The MPs had been penalized for their involvement in the chaos that erupted during the appointment committee session on Thursday. In an interview also monitored by Windy News, Professor Kranton highlighted Ghana's political progress, emphasizing that despite being a relatively young democracy, the collaboration between leadership from both sides of parliament demonstrates a significant evolution in the country's governance. The development underscores the importance of bipartisan cooperation in maintaining stability within Ghana's democratic framework. Moving on, pressure is mounting on the West African Examination Council to release the withheld results of some students amid growing controversy over alleged malpractice during the 2023 West African Senior School Certificate Examination. On Thursday, January 30, WAEC filed a stay of execution at the High Court against a court order directing the release of the result. The Council's decision has sparked frustration among affected students and stakeholders who argue that WAEC's actions are unjust. At a press briefing, the president of the National Union of Ghana Students, Daniel Koli-Boche, warned that if WAEC fails to comply with the court's directive within the stipulated time frame, the union will take legal action and stage nationwide protests. Nooks has also accused WAEC of bias and unfair treatment in handling the withheld result, calling for greater transparency in the examinations by the decision-making progress. As tension rises, all eyes are on WAEC's next move, with students and parents eagerly awaiting a resolution to the dispute.
They should release all the results forthwith, within a week. Whatever investigations they are doing, they should conclude within a week, because we wrote to them as far back as January 2nd. And from January 2nd till now, is over a month. They should have enough time to have reviewed all these results by now. They should release it within a week, failing which we are going to commence series of protests occupying their offices nationwide. And we'll make sure that we are going to make it uncomfortable for them. If they cannot do the work, they should inform the government of Ghana, for the government of Ghana to look for a new examination body. But if they feel they can do the work, then they should do it, and do it well. When you're not done, you don't release any results. This should be the last time we should have withheld results. It's either you have cancelled the results or you have released it. And when you cancel it, the people should have address, before you cancel it, they should go through the process where they have heard. And even after the cancellation, they should be able to appeal. And those also whose entire results have been cancelled for isolated cases of malpractice, that should be reversed immediately with this particular exam, not subsequent ones. In their reply to us, they have stated that they are committed to reviewing the result, their regulations, probably in subsequent ones. We are saying that these very students who have written, whose entire results, the 483 students, the particular subject matter in which they were caught in the malpractice, it is only that subject matter that should be cancelled. These are our demands, and we are going to press on until we meet these demands. Thank you very much.
We take a short breather. When you come back, it's business. Welcome back. Now let's do some business. President John Dramani Mahama has appointed Albert Kojo Chumbuafo as the acting chief executive officer of the Financial Intelligence Center, pending the reconstitution of the FIC board. Mr. Chumbuafo, a seasoned civil engineer and finance expert, brings extensive experience in public administration to his new role. He previously served as the chief executive of the Ghana Free Zone Authority from 2009 to 2017, where he played a key role in promoting investment and economic growth. His strong academic and professional background positions him well to lead the FIC in strengthening Ghana's financial intelligence and regulatory framework. His appointment is expected to bolster efforts to combat financial crimes and enhance transparency in the country's financial sector. Still in business, the first deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Maxwell Opoku Afari, has proceeded on leave ahead of his retirement. A letter from the Bank of Ghana dated February 4, 2025 confirmed that Dr. Opoku Afari opted to take leave from February 5 before the official end of his contract. His decision received approval from President John Dramani Mahama. The Central Bank expressed gratitude for Dr. Opoku Afari's dedicated service to both the institution and the Republic of Ghana. Acknowledging his contributions to the country's financial sector, the Bank of Ghana also extended its best wishes to him in his future endeavors. Dr. Opoku Afari has played a significant role in shaping Ghana's monetary policies and financial stability, and his departure marks the end of an era at the Central Bank. We take a short breather. When we come back at sports.
Hey there, welcome to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. Seated right in front of you is Ampon Bismaku, for short Ampon B. Here we say we are the ultimate in campus radio. I entreat you all to be listening to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. And your Radio Unibe, forget about
it. Hello, my name is Amina Abisbanan, a media personality at Radio Winnipeg 98.3 FM. Kindly follow us on all our social media handles. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us on www.uew.edu.gh. We are the ultimate in campus radio.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the sports segment right here on Windy News. I am Jennifer Aniel Jones. Morocco senior women's national team has announced an international friendly against Ghana later this month. The Atlas Lionesses will host the Black Queens as part of their preparations towards the rescheduled 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON. The fixture is slated for Friday, February 21 at the Peugeot Stadium in Casablanca. The game will also be the first for the Black Queens head coach Kim Lars Jokekren, who was announced as the new gaffer for the Black Queens. The Ghana women's national team are yet to play any game since their defeat to Japan in an international friendly in July 2024. Away from football, in basketball, LeBron James has said it will be a special occasion to play the same side as the LA Lakers' new arrival, Luka Doncic. Doncic completed a shock trade in the Lakers from the Dallas Mavericks last weekend with Anthony Davis, an NBA champion with the Lakers in 2020. Moving in the opposite direction to the Slovenian, Doncic, 25, has been an NBA All-Star for the past 5 seasons and finished as the league's top scorer in 2024. My name is Jennifer Aniel Jones, and this is all we have right here on Windy Sports.
Welcome back. That was sport from my colleague here at Windy News, Anel Jennifer Jones. Now let's go to the international arena. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has moved to ease tensions with the new U.S. administration over South Africa's new land law by engaging in talks with billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk. Musk, a close advisor to U.S. President Donald Trump, became a key figure in the dispute after Trump threatened to cut off future funding to South Africa on Sunday. The U.S. president accused the South African government of land confiscation and unfair treatment of certain groups. In a statement, Ramaphosa's office confirmed that during his call with Musk, the president reaffirmed South Africa's commitment to the rule of law, justice, fairness, and equality, as enshrined in the country's constitution. The controversy stems from a recent signed law that permits land expropriation without compensation under specific conditions. Land ownership remains a sensitive issue in South Africa, where despite the fall of apartheid 30 years ago, a significant portion of private farmland is still owned by white South Africans. Ramaphosa's engagement with Elon Musk is seen as part of broader diplomatic effort to prevent strained relations between the two nations as they navigate this complex issue. Still on the foreign front, Uganda has launched a clinical trial for a vaccine targeting the Sudan strain of Ebola virus following an outbreak that has resulted in 1 death and 2 infections. The first confirmed case, a 32-year-old male nurse, succumbed to the virus last week. In response, health officials have moved swiftly to test a potential vaccine developed by the International AIDS Vaccine Initiative, a global non-profit organization. On Monday, the initial trial participant, currently in isolation, received the first dose of the experimental vaccine. The Sudan strain of Ebola currently has no approved vaccine, unlike the Syrian strain, for which an effective vaccine is already in use, particularly in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Health experts hope that the trial will lead to a breakthrough in preventing future outbreaks of the deadly virus, which has historically posed a significant public health threat in the region. We end Windy News by recapping the stories that made headlines. Minority Leader Afenyo Markin bus government nomination process. Lance Minister pledges monthly update on Galamsey fight. WAEC faces pressure to release withheld examination results. And in business, President John Dramani Mahama appoints Kojo Chumbuafo as acting CEO of Financial Intelligence Center. On the foreign front, South Africa's president calls Marx to calm Trump land rule. And that will be all for today's Windy News. My name is Nana Ama Nyamike Bani. Thank you for doing the watching and do enjoy the rest of your afternoon.